Imagine living in a town where every shadow could be your last, where disappearing isn't a mystery, but a warning. In 1943, a group of unseen heroes risked everything to save lives, moving silently through the shadows, unnoticed, unheard, but their courage changed the course of history. This is a story of the quiet heroes, whose bravery no one celebrated, yet everyone survived because of them. Listen closely and follow their journey. Welcome to Quiet Heroes. Before we begin this breathtaking story, tell me in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe that true expertise comes with silence, hit that subscribe button. It was a bitter winter morning in 1943. The small European town lay under the oppressive shadow of the occupying forces, waking slowly under a veil of fear that seemed to seep into every alley, every stone, and every shuttered window. The streets were silent, except for the occasional echo of distant boots, and the air was thick with unease. Into this quiet terror, a group of young resistance fighters slipped under the cover of darkness, determined to act as the town's invisible guardians. Their leader, a man whose face bore the scars of past battles, carried a quiet authority. His eyes, sharp and unwavering, reflected both the weight of his past and the unyielding determination that kept the group moving forward. No one knew his name, nor did they ask. Names were irrelevant. The lives of the townspeople mattered more than recognition or fame. The group's first steps into the town were careful, each movement deliberate, leaving no trace of their presence. As they moved through the narrow, snow-covered streets, they discovered a cryptic message left behind by a missing child. It was a small piece of paper, etched with symbols that seemed indecipherable at first glance. Yet the leader recognized immediately that these symbols were not random. They were markers, hints of something far greater and more sinister than a single child's disappearance. He motioned for the group to stop, and they huddled in the shadows, studying the strange message. A sense of foreboding filled the air, as if the town itself were watching, waiting to see whether they would succeed or fail. Their first mission was to rescue a family hiding in the underground tunnels beneath the town. The passages were narrow, dark, and treacherous, remnants of centuries-old construction that now served as the only refuge for those fleeing the Nazis. The group moved silently, their every step calculated. The faint sound of dripping water echoed through the tunnels, merging with the distant rumble of artillery from far beyond the town. One of the younger members, still haunted by the ghosts of past battles, flinched at every unexpected sound, a tremor running through his body that he struggled to conceal. But the leader's steady presence kept the team focused, guiding them through the labyrinthine tunnels and toward the hiding family. Night fell quickly, bringing with it an even deeper stillness. As the group navigated the tunnels, they began to notice subtle signs, symbols etched into walls, markings barely visible in the dim light of their lanterns. These symbols told stories of those who had vanished before them, hinting at secret networks and hidden safe houses. Each clue led to another, forming a complex web of mystery that both guided and challenged the team. Tension built within the group. Trust was fragile, and the knowledge that one of their own might be leaking information to the enemy hovered silently over every decision. During one particularly tense night, the group escorted a family through the tunnels when the sound of boots shattered the quiet. Nazi patrols had appeared unexpectedly. A chase ensued, weaving through narrow alleyways and old cobblestone streets. Shouts rang out, and the echo of gunfire mingled with the terrified cries of those they were protecting. In the chaos, one of the resistance fighters was injured, collapsing against the cold stone walls. As his breath came in ragged gasps, he handed a small letter to the leader, a message coded in an old script, pointing to yet another critical mission and revealing hidden caches of supplies and intelligence. This letter became the next key to survival, a map that would guide them through the dangers still to come. The group gathered outside the town at a predetermined safe point. Their next task was to prevent a major Nazi operation, a plan that, if executed, would devastate nearby villages. Each step required precision, careful planning, and unwavering courage. The terrain was treacherous, with ruined buildings, collapsed bridges, and snow-laden forests testing their resolve. Internal tensions flared as the stakes rose. Some members questioned strategy, while others wrestled with fear. But through it all, the leader's quiet authority maintained order. He reminded them, without words, that every choice they made could mean life or death, for themselves and for countless others. Their mission succeeded, but at a terrible cost. Several members of the group were gravely injured, and one disappeared into the night, lost to the chaos. The townspeople remained unaware of the identities of their protectors, attributing the survival of the community to luck or divine intervention. Yet the resistance fighters, though unseen and uncelebrated, had carved their mark into history. Their courage had changed the course of lives and preserved hope where it was nearly extinguished. The journey continued. Beyond the town, the group ventured into dense forests where shadows moved and every rustle of branches could signify danger. Each step was fraught with uncertainty. One member struggled with the haunting memory of a missing sibling. Another grappled with post-traumatic scars from previous battles. Together, they moved as a single unit, their silent bond stronger than any words could express. Their next target was an abandoned library on the outskirts of the town, rumored to contain crucial documents detailing Nazi plans against neighboring villages. Navigating the ruins required caution, the floorboards creaked, and the walls were unstable. Inside, dust-laden shelves towered like monuments to forgotten knowledge. One member meticulously examined the documents, while others kept watch, alert for any signs of intrusion. The papers revealed not only the fates of missing families, but also strategic insights that could save countless lives. Yet obtaining them was only half the battle. The documents had to be smuggled out undetected, a task complicated by patrols and hidden traps. As they transported the documents through winding tunnels, danger seemed omnipresent. Patrols moved unpredictably, and every shadow threatened exposure. A sudden noise forced the group into a tense hiding spot, pressed against damp stone walls, hearts pounding in unison. One member, despite being injured earlier, whispered encouragement, reminding everyone of the stakes and the lives depending on them. Step by step, they navigated the labyrinthine passages, finally emerging safely with the precious cargo. Their success solidified their place as a crucial, though invisible, force against tyranny. Challenges only grew. Symbols etched into ruins offered cryptic clues to future missions. Decoding them demanded intellect and courage, while each discovery introduced new threats. The group's cohesion was tested repeatedly, yet every triumph, every narrow escape, strengthened their resolve. Finally, the resistance set their sights on a heavily fortified Nazi camp. This was the heart of enemy operations for the region. Under cover of darkness, they mapped the camp, identifying weak points and planning a daring sabotage. Midnight fell, bringing a tense hush before the storm. Explosions, gunfire, and shadows in motion transformed the camp into a chaotic battlefield. One member sacrificed himself to save the others, another was severely wounded, but the operation succeeded. Vital plans were destroyed, and numerous lives were spared. Once again, the townspeople remained oblivious to the identities of their saviors. What appeared as chance or fortune was in reality the result of meticulous planning and quiet heroism. The group vanished into the night, leaving behind only subtle traces of their courage. History would remember some events, but the heroes themselves would remain anonymous. Their deeds were a testament to the power of selfless action and the enduring impact of courage carried out in silence. The journey continued, missions multiplying, each more dangerous than the last. Shadows, codes, and hidden threats awaited them at every turn. Yet the invisible heroes pressed on, driven by a steadfast commitment to justice. Each step forward demanded more than skill. It required the full measure of bravery, intellect, and moral fortitude. Their actions, though unseen, shaped the course of history, proving that heroism need not be celebrated to be profound. Through forests, ruins, and snow-laden hills, the group advanced. They encountered hidden allies, treacherous spies, and remnants of past battles, all interwoven with the lives of those they sought to protect. Each member carried the weight of personal grief and the scars of prior missions, yet the bond they shared provided strength and purpose. The stories of their courage would never be told aloud, but the impact of their actions would ripple through time. In the end, these invisible heroes achieved victories that no history book would record. The towns they saved flourished quietly, unaware of the shadows that had protected them. Yet the resistance fighters, scarred and weary, continued their journey. Each new mission, each encoded message and hidden danger, reinforced their understanding that true heroism often goes unnoticed, yet its effects endure. Silent, unseen, and uncelebrated, they became the embodiment of courage, leaving a legacy that whispered through time and reminded the world that even the quietest heroes can make the greatest difference.